Seahawks are looking at this season like, hey, we're in the NFC. That's weak. Our division is there for the taking. We've upgraded in all the spots that we needed to from last year. If Geno Smith continues to play like he did last year, even improve just a little bit, you'd think he would improve a little bit. Then the Seahawks are in great shape. But there's one player, one position that they'd like to strengthen just a little bit more. And so they've been linked to this player in a big time trade for a while now. But I think it's time to really just look at this roster and be like, I think it makes sense to do it. So we'll show you that player in just a second. If you're new to our channel, we are Lions fans. Our primary channel is about the Detroit Lions, but we cover teams that don't get the coverage from the national media, especially stories that don't get covered from the national media. We dive in a little bit deeper. So we're Lions fans, appreciate the Seahawks. Always like the Seahawks. I mean, because I think because we're in the same conference, but we're far away geographically. I don't know. So here's the player. But first, before we look at the player, just look at this. Look at this roster and just kind of what's going on, and I'll show you where we need to where they need to look at upgrading. So Geno Smith, love it. Kenneth Walker, love it. Charbonnet, great player. He was with Michigan, so we got to watch him a lot. He looks like he stands up straight and he's like he doesn't look agile, but he is. It's kind of weird. You'll notice that. Great receivers, offensive line's good. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, it's great. So secondary out of this world, but defensive line. So you look at it, Chase Young keeps getting put with the Seahawks. And why is that? Just from my perspective, it's because I think the Seahawks, or I know the Seahawks are not afraid of defensive linemen and kind of the bigger name. They've taken chances on the bigger names in the past, and they're okay with giving it a 1-year shot. And that's what we're looking for here. And that's what the Seahawks would be getting. So let me know if you're a Seahawks fan. Do you want this or not? Because remember, Chase Young burst on the scene as a rookie in 2022, 44 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 7.5 sacks, forcing 4 fumbles, and being named Defensive Rookie of the Year. Boom. Now, the good news and the bad news. Since then, he's been injured and hasn't played. I say that's good news because he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear. You don't really know where he's at. Almost could be, man, he's training. He's developing his craft. He hasn't had a lot of wear and tear on him. He's ready to come back for a monster year in 2023. Or he's been injured. It's not going well. Mentally, where's he at? It could be a bad thing too. But if you're able to go for a low risk, high reward swing in the trenches, and that's the big thing. Defensive ends are not just sitting around like Chase Young, able to kind of make a move for. And why Chase Young is available is because he's coming up on the last year of his rookie deal. He is going to be part of this Commanders team that's just looking to really turn over the roster, refresh, new stuff, owners selling the team, new name. They're just kind of looking to turn a corner and flip over all the old and get into like their new path. So that's why Chase Young just keeps getting mentioned. And I think it's something that they could absolutely do because it was a rough showing in 2022 for the Seahawks defensive front. Went out, addressed it with these guys, but you want the depth. You want the ability to have a pass rush. Mike Morris. Love Mike Morris, Michigan guy. But is he like a pass rusher that's like legit can get no, he's really not. Really good player. He's one of those guys kind of slides in, can be a real good anchor, set the edge type guy, but just like a pure pass rusher. No, that's not Mike Morris. Again, another Michigan guy. Love him, by the way, but not quite there. Devin Bush, man, you got a lot of Michigan guys that love it. I think Craig talked about these last time. Devin Bush, we'll love to see where he gets. He just kind of didn't do a lot in Pittsburgh, but uber talented, fast, athletic, fits the bill for the Seahawks. But anyway, back to the defensive ends. You can't have enough defensive ends in general, but you almost need some. You almost need a starting defensive end or a someone to come in third down, somebody that can provide some juice for you. So I like this, but I don't know where the Seattle Seahawks fans are on this because he appeared in just 12 games. 11 were starts in the 21-22 season, but 31 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and just over a sack. So there's no denying his talent, evident by his rookie season. That coming off to back-to-back years where his injury plagued is a question mark. So, yeah, you're looking at it as a Seahawks fan where we want 1 year. We got Geno Smith. We're kind of doing this piece together thing that's really working well. And when I say piece together, I'm talking about Geno Smith. Like you just like, all right, let's do Geno Smith. I mean, Russell Wilson's kind of weird. Let's get him out of here. We get Geno Smith in, and he plays well, and we got a lot of talent around him, and let's go. Well, now it's like this is actually a thing. Like it's a real thing with Geno Smith. Let's roll with Geno Smith, and let's really build around him. So keep adding talent. When I don't see why you wouldn't do this if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. And by the way, Russell Wilson, congratulations to you guys getting rid of him. Really, hey, it couldn't have been more perfect. You got him for his absolute peak years. You had a great run, 12th man, the whole deal. Love it. You're firing on all cylinders. And then as he gets weird, you get rid of him. And I absolutely love that. So it's like, hey, you can say I loved him while he was here, but also he's a weird dude. He's a weird guy. He's cringy. Get him out of here. And you get picks for him. And then Geno Smith steps right in. It's a dream come true for a Seattle Seahawks fan. I envy it. And actually, the Lions did something similar, except Stafford's not weird. Stafford's a great guy. Love that he had a chance. It's like, I just kind of move on here. I've tried everything I can. I'm going to move on. And we actually get Goff, who hits the ground running, absolutely loves it here in Detroit and runs with it and goes. And both the Seahawks and the Lions, very similar in their path, where they get rid of their franchise quarterbacks, pick up these guys that are kind of like, I don't know, and they're doing well. And it's great to see. It's really great to see that you don't need the all-star superstar quarterback, because that wouldn't be fun if you had to have Patrick Mahomes to win. Like that's not how it works. You can win with these guys that are good quarterbacks. You still have to be a good quarterback. There's no question about that. But Geno Smith is, Jared Goff is. They're good quarterbacks that you cannot deny, especially what they did last year. So these teams are able then, Seahawks and Lions are able to build around them because their contracts aren't ridiculous, and they're setting up for a really good season. So the Seahawks, similar to the Lions, I'll stop comparing the Lions, I'm sorry, but division there for the taking. The NFC there for the taking. Yes, you've got you've got the Eagles, Cowboys. You got some good teams in the NFC, but it's not loaded like the AFC. You've got the home field advantage that's really good. You've always had. You've got a lot of good things going for you. It wouldn't hurt to add one more piece. Like, why would you not add one more piece to the defensive line where you always need another player? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, if you've stuck around this long, make sure you subscribe. We cover we call them smaller market teams, or teams that just don't get the national attention from the national media on stories like this. So we dive in a little bit and just want to see what could or couldn't happen. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.